Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Rusty Beauty Stories. Today we're going to be working on the 66 GT6 and we're going to continue with the repairs on this side of the car. So in the last few episodes we rebuilt this corner here that was like a big can of worms. So these worms were defeated and then we opened another can of worms on this side. These worms were aggressive too, but we defeated those as well. And now we're almost ready to start putting on our shells outside. But before we do that, there's one last thing that we need to repair, and that's this lip of the inner fender here. So you see how it has flanges here somewhere in some areas, flanges that go in. Well, it needs to have them from one end to the other. That actually is comfy. Anyways, so yeah, in this episode we're gonna repair this inner wheel well, and so we can start mounting the outer parts here. So let's get crack-a-lacking right after I decide to get up, because this is really comfy. Alright, so like we said, we need to rebuild this entire wheel well here, the flange. This flange is rotten, it only has it here and a little bit here, nowhere else. But we need to have it for the entire wheel well. Like we need to have it all over the place, here at the front and at the back too. So we basically need to have a wall like this and a wall like this. We can take a long piece of angle and with the shrinker or with the stretcher in this case, we can start stretching this flange and that's going to make it curved as we want to. The problem is that in some areas this flange is going to need to be like really deep, especially here we don't even have a flange. Here we have the beginning of the flange, but it needs to go pretty far. I don't know how far it needs to go, but it's pretty far. So I'm afraid that this wall is going to be hard to stretch. But the thing is actually that in this area here we don't need to stretch too much because the curve is not too strong. The curve is bigger here. So yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Why don't we join the three pieces? Let me do something here. Okay, now we have the whole entire flange of the outer wheel well, but the inner wheel well should be the exact same shape, shouldn't it? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill one more hole here and put one more click on, so then we can take the three pieces together. Here we have a hole that goes through the wheel arch and this panel. That's this hole. So once we take it out, I'm gonna put a click here. I want to put a second click here, so this keeps these panels from moving. And then we're gonna be able actually to go to the bench with these three parts and make our lip from one end to the other out of the car. Oops. We can put this here. And we have what we need. So now if we take this and we put it upside down, this is what we need to achieve. Nice. All right, here are our two pieces, and we're not gonna weld them together because my brake is 36 inches. So if I weld them together, I'm not gonna be able to bend them. So I'm gonna make them separately and then we're gonna weld them at the end, I guess. This bend though is it's not a very sharp angle, it is rounded, and I'm not gonna spend way too much time here doing that here. I'm just gonna make two separate bends, 45 degrees each, and I'm not gonna bother more than that. Okay. Alright, so like we said, 45. It turned out to be 46, but it's not a big deal. So let's do another 44. Yeah, pretty round. This flange is gonna be way too deep though for shrinking and stretching. I'll try, but we might need to shorten it. All right, so there's a tricky part here. So here our flange is 90 degrees, but here it needs to be a little bit less. It needs to be acute angle so it can get inserted a little bit into that lip, because otherwise this is how much they overlap, which is enough for a spot weld, but I think we should do that. Yeah, so it's gonna be tricky to do it, but anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna shorten it. I'm gonna make them both the same. As much as we have here, the same amount we should have here. Okay, that's better. Now in some areas, this flange, the one that goes out, might be a little bit too short, but then we're gonna have to extend it. I can't stretch it when it's too long. So let's start. So as you can see here, it has a curve this way, but it also has a curve this way. So that's interesting. To make this curve, we need to shrink this flange. To make this curve, we need to stretch this flange on this side. So let's start with this curve first. So in the beginning it is very, very slight curve. All the way to here it's almost a straight line. Okay, we're almost there, but now to make it more clear, let's make this curve as well. Now we're gonna start shrinking this side. So I'm gonna try to make this bend first. Like when I make them both, I make mistakes. So I'm gonna try to make this bend first to wherever this reaches, and then we're gonna work on the other one. You know what? It's gonna be a very long process, but I still want you to see it all. So I'm gonna put you on a time-lapse mode. Alright, here's what we have so far. I think we're matching pretty well, both curves. The thing is now, you see how this is not fitting inside this cavity there. So here we're gonna leave it 90 degrees, but here we're gonna start bending this flange in, so this can dip in further, and that of course is gonna change this curve, but also it's gonna change this curve because this needs to go deeper. See, when we bend this flange this way, this curve opened, so now we have to shrink, no, we have to stretch more here. If you look carefully here, you can see how this is not 90 degrees for the same reason, but also here above there's a line Like you could barely see it, but right here there's a bend line where this plane is not the same as this plane. We would need to do that, but you know what? I'm not gonna bother with that for now. We're gonna do it later. How does it go now? Like this. Not too bad. Maybe some of the angles are wrong, but we can always adjust it a little bit. I think that's pretty good for now. Okay, let's make the other one. Oh, I got a blister. Oh. Hello. Hi. Is that Princess Auto? Yeah, I would like to order. No, I mean, I would like to order one of these. No, you don't understand. I would like to order. What do you mean, check your front door? Okay, I will. That was fast. Okay, what, Rusty? What, you think it's a dog food? No, it's not. What is it? Ho ho ho, that's so much better. So much easier. Great. And it was so fast, right? No affiliations with Princess Auto, but I don't mind. So if you are Princess Auto, I can use a little bit of sponsorship here. Anyways, we have one of these at work, and in fact, I was using at work my own shrinker stretcher, these two, but we have a stand there, so I was mounting them on the stand at work, and that spoiled me, so now I had to have one here. Now my hands can relax. Okay, I'm gonna continue after dinner because I'm hungry, but I'll definitely come back because I'm excited now to work on this again. Seriously, I got a blister here. All right, so it's the next day, and now we can start actually using the shrinker stretcher stand, and we're gonna finish the other part, but we have audience, Mr. Chef Tash.
Hello.
Hi.
Weld something today?
We're gonna weld, well, probably not because we're gonna be bending today, but just for the people who don't know Mr. Chef Tash, he has a beautiful channel of restoring TRs. He restored a TR3, TR6, and now he's restoring another 250, and then he's going to be going back to another TR3. So it just occurred to me that maybe there are people who don't know him. So check his channel. I'll post maybe a link to his channel here or something.
Very shy.
He's very shy. He's camera shy for sure.
I don't like being on this side of the camera.
Yeah. Well, beautiful contents, guys. A lot of information there too. So if you don't know him, go watch him and subscribe to him as well. So let's see what we're gonna do here with the rest of our lip, or what should I call it? So where were we? Okay, I think this is a pretty good shape here. Now we're gonna have to do the same thing here, bend this up so we can tuck this corner piece inside this channel. And here we're gonna have to do the opposite. We're gonna have to bend this open this end a little bit because it needs to match this here. All right, let's see how we're gonna match all these parts, because that's a complicated thing now to match this to be in the exact place on the inner wheel well so it can match this when it is installed there. That's gonna be tricky, but we're gonna figure it out. Well, David just told me that I wasn't filming. Somehow my camera was off. But anyways, I took out this wheel arch, I shortened the lip of the wheel well, and then I put everything back together. And then when I look from inside here now, I might bring you later, I can see where the two overlap, and I can actually tuck them from inside. The new part that we made and the wheel well. So once we adjust everything, we're gonna be able to tuck them in place together. And then I'm going to be able to take this part out and weld the two together. But I think that we still need more adjustment, because now looks like this needs to come in more. Because if I put it like this now, you see I have a lot of room here. So I still have to make adjustments. This, for example, needs to come out more this way. Like a lot, I can tell. But now the two meet together here, so I'm gonna keep one in as a stop, I'm gonna take the other one out, I'm gonna adjust it, and then we're gonna bring it back.
How does that slope piece fit?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be away, you see?
Need to move that in, right?
Yeah, because, well, this I might be able to adjust, but now look, if I pull this out, you see how far this is.
Yeah.
So I have to make this curve more sharper, curver, curver.
Or curvy.
Yeah. And this one too. So it's gonna take a while, but yeah. Okay, so here we need to make this more curved. Okay, it's getting closer. But I have to feel by touch where they touch and where they start opening, and that's here. So right here, we need to stretch. Right here. Yeah. Now I can see a way of doing it. We will know for the other side. And for the next project, of course. Now, the flange is touching here, but this is open. I can feel, you know how we were bending it in and out? Now it is out. I can feel it from here. So if I touch it with the wheel well, now this opens here, you see? Now I'm gonna have to push the fender in to match that shape, and I don't want that. I want this to be here, but now it's not touching there.
So you don't want to add a half-inch of Bondo on the outside?
Yeah. Exactly. So now I need to take it out and bend this flange in again so it can touch there, which is going to change the curve. We need to make sure that this curve matches this curve, that this flange is bent in and out until it matches that one inside. And every time you change something, it changes something else as well. So there's going to be a lot of adjustments here, so I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to do all my adjustments and I'll bring you back. All right, so one half here is almost where I want it. It looks pretty well. So I think we are pretty much okay for the rear end. Now the front end, I was working here and I noticed something. You see this body line here? We have like a hard bend here. It creates a very funny angle here on the wheel arch. And I was like, no, that shouldn't be, that's not correct. So I went and I checked on my GT6, and there's no such thing on my GT6. Like you see, this line is nice and smooth here, even though still has this body line. But you see how here there's a flat part on the wheel arch. There's no flat part on the Mark 1. So I went and I checked my Spitfire, which is over there. Now this is the opposite side, but this one has this funny shape too. And the other side as well. So we are fine. So we are fine here. But this means that now here we're gonna have to make the same funny shape, and I marked it already. I'm gonna have to have a hard bend here, so I might even need to make a cut here on this flange so I can make it a hard bend. Alright, after countless, literally countless times of putting these in and out, going to the shrinker and stretcher and adjusting them, and or going to the bench and adjusting them, which is like car, shrinker, stretcher, bench over there. So after countless times putting them in and out, I think I am really close to where I want to be. So first of all, if you look here, the flange overlaps with the outer flange pretty well. Here, I know it's sticking out here, but that's fine because this one is much deeper, so it can be trimmed. Anyway, the two flanges are overlapping pretty well here, all the way up there and here as well, and all the way down there. So this needs to come in still, but again, we need to cut the flange on the back part so we can push in this more and make a nice curve here. And inside, I can't see it really well, but I'm hoping that you will be able to see it. And then, of course, I will see it with you. So, the other flange. So I couldn't see it with you. Now I'm gonna play the video on my phone and I'll see what you saw just now. But if everything is okay, then I can just tuck it here. I don't know how I'm gonna tuck it, but I'm gonna tuck it here, everywhere I can. Even here, I can tuck it to this piece that we made. I'm gonna tuck it here in the corner. The only place where I can't tuck it is here, because here I'm missing a big chunk. So for here, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to hold this corner to here somehow, like temporarily of course, so it doesn't move. And once everything is tucked and secured in place, then we're gonna take out all the clicus and all the clamps and everything. We're gonna take out these three parts, and then the new lip should stay where it is right now. And then I should be able to cut the two pieces that overlap and butt weld them together. Anyways, just wanted to show you this because it was like long time. Chef Tash is long gone. It's dark outside now almost, so it's been hours dealing with this here. So this is now held in place as well, and now I have to go and weld there from underneath. I don't know how this is gonna happen, but we'll see. Wish me luck. All right, that was really tricky. I don't know what I've done, but you can tell me whether I've done anything. Do you see something? Anyways, I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna take it apart. If I have to assemble it again, I'm gonna have to assemble it again. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Here it matches perfectly. Here we are a little bit too short. Here we are overlapping, but it's fine. So now what I'm gonna start doing now is I'm gonna start welding it, or just tacking it where they match well. Where they overlap, I'm just gonna cut a line through both of them and they're gonna line up properly. Where I have a big gap, I'm gonna use a piece of brass. I'm gonna put behind and I'm gonna weld it. We're gonna try to keep inside really nice. I don't want to have big blobs of weld inside because it's important. And you go inside and you do this with your fingers. I don't want you to touch all kinds of stuff there. I want it to be nice and smooth, and it's hard to grind obviously, so we're gonna try to keep the weld as good as possible. Even here I'm gonna use this to keep it nice and smooth on the inside. Here is where we're gonna have to extend, so this doesn't go all the way down there. I marked where it ends, so this is where it ends, pretty much at the same level as this surface. So here we're gonna have to, obviously this needs to bend more down, but also here it's gonna be pretty much straight. We'll see how we're gonna do it there, but it's solid now, it's not gonna go anywhere. So first I'm gonna tack it in more places because I'm afraid it might fall, even though it's pretty solid. Oops. Here you see. Here we're overlapping a lot, so we're gonna have to shorten this flange and weld them on the outside, or no, we can't weld on the inside, but we can weld on the outside. So we're gonna shorten the flange here, and yeah. Okay, so this is how it works. I think it works pretty well. So far so good. But here it is hard to tell where the cut on the back is. Here you can see how I started going too low and I didn't have material on the back. So I need to make sure that I'm cutting through both materials. So I'm literally going to go with my finger in the back and touch and estimate more or less where my cut should go. And then from here down I can see actually. So that's gonna be easier now, but I'm gonna put you on time-lapse mode because this takes forever, but I still want to show you the whole process. All right, so it's all tucked in place and it looks pretty good if you ask me. So if I take my time now and weld it properly and don't make a mess on the inside, which I don't want to, it's gonna be perfect. So I guess you saw how I dealt with this corner here. I just bent this piece out a little bit and I added this piece and I cut it here where I marked it before, and I bent this flange down so it matches this flange. And now of course there are big gaps here and there, but these big gaps are easy to be filled by using the piece of brass. Anyways, I think it looks good, but before I go ahead and weld it, of course, let's put all the shells out again and make sure that everything matches as it was matching before. Okay, so everything fits well on the outside, and I'm pretty happy with how it fits inside as well. It looks like it overlaps more than 1/4 inch, but I want it more than that. So we're gonna adjust this as well, and I'll show you how, but I think that's gonna happen in the next video because we are pretty long already here. So we're gonna cut it here and we're gonna finish this repair in the next episode. I think we made pretty good progress. It was complicated, so I think it was worth the time playing with the little angles and little curves because now I'm pretty happy with the result. Again, like I said, it's not ready. We're gonna adjust it a little bit better, so stay tuned for that in the next video. So that's gonna be it for today. So again, one more time guys, it is not just words. I'm really grateful for everything that you do for me guys. Thank you for commenting, for watching, for subscribing, and thank you for supporting me on Patreon and via PayPal. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So if you're not a Patreon yet and you wish to become one, you can follow the link in the description and choose one of the 3 options to support the channel there by donating $5, $10 or $20 per month. And I'm gonna say it again, even though I keep saying it, this is not gonna buy you any benefits. You're gonna have the exact same benefits as the other people who choose or could not afford to support the channel financially. So this is just a way to say thank you if you wish to. But also if you don't want to subscribe monthly, you can make a one-time donation by sending a PayPal or e-transfer to elin.yakov@rustybeauties.com. But also there's the option that you keep watching without the need of spending any money out of your pocket, and still you're gonna have the same benefits as everybody else. So with that said guys, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.